There we go. Okay, we figuring this out. Okay, now got the recording going on. Okay, let's get into this. This is kind of fire.
Oh God.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Anime for Three. Strap in because we have a good one. We have the final bout. You guys have been waiting for it. I know you have, even if you don't want to admit it. I know you have. But strap in. We got a good one. We're joined with the hostess of hostess. We got Krishan and Amanda in the cut. What's good, gang?
What's
Gang.
going on?
Dang.
But you know what Anime for Three is all about. We're about to have a colorful conversation stemming around anime episodes, movies, films, yada, yada, yada. But this is a mini episode. This is the final tournament. You're about to see head to head between Michelle and Tanu on their characters, Monkey D. Luffy, and you got Eren Yeager. But before all that, I do have to chime us in real quick. So please, 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 please check us out on our socials. We are on TikTok. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We're Anime for Three. You got to spell out the three. We are also on YouTube as well too, so please subscribe on there. We are Anime for Three, but you have to use the number three. But again, let me introduce the guest right here. They about to bout it out. We got Michelle and we got Tanu. I know you guys are returning back, but I am curious. What is your has your favorite anime changed since you've been on with us? And Tanu, you can go first.
What an intro! I thought you were about to name your sponsors with that shit too, but I'm just kidding. But no. My favorite is still Attack on Titan.
Mm.
Uh, well, it might we'll see how it changes when it ends. I've heard mixed reviews about the ending, but no, as for now, it's still my favorite and the best.
Okay, no. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out this up.
No, I was about to say, get it. Okay, okay.
But no, that was a good answer. I had Attack on Titan as a fanfare. I had to use a sound bits. It's there for a
I didn't think
reason.
you could.
Hey, come on now, come on now. But yeah, Attack on Titan is a fan favorite. I was expecting you to change up, but you stick through like Aaron Yeager does. Commitment, right? Commitment. You gotta love it.
Keep
You
moving
gotta love it.
forward.
No turning back.
No
No,
turning back. Apparently, we'll
Literally.
see what happens. Yeah. Um.
Literally.
But Michelle, has your favorite anime changed since you've been on with us?
Nope, still One Piece. But I am
Mm.
really fucking with Hell's Paradise right now, though.
yeah, so
Hey,
That
that's a good
that's
one.
fire.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I
I
think a
like
new
the last
episode just came
episode was
on.
nice.
Hmm. No
Ugh.
spoilers, but yeah, it's looking. But yeah, we gotta give you applause too. We don't play favoritism in here. Okay now, okay now. But no, we do have Tanu. You know, poetically defeated Krishan in the first round. He was going against Krishan, and Krishan chose Gojo, and then we had Michelle and Amanda. They had a great bout. It was neck and neck really. Amanda had Naruto in round two, and Michelle had Monkey D. Luffy, and the fans got to choose. So now we have Michelle and Tanu here in the final bout of Hot Take Tournament. Let's go. Let's go. But all right. So the first topic is what fight scene or scenes has added value or depth to your character? And I'm gonna have Michelle go first. So again, what fight scene or scenes has added value or depth to your character? Who is Monkey D. Luffy? Floor is yours.
All right, I will say for fight scenes, I'm gonna go with his fight with Katakuri, just because that is the first battle where he's acknowledged by his enemy, and Katakuri goes as far as to call him dangerous and a threat that has
Mm,
to be taken care of. So that right there shows us how far we've gone for him to be respected by someone who's directly under the Yonko and who
mm,
needs to be taken care of so he's not a threat to the Yonko in the future, which he is. But then after that defeat, like he gained even more respect from everybody. And everybody was like, oh, this kid's a problem. So I'm going with that one.
That's a solid one, honestly. I honestly forget about that fight even happening, but it did definitely kind of, I want to say the word transcend. Okay, Tanu, don't nobody is gonna yawn
Hey,
during
it
your
was a good
segment.
fight, but that shit was dragged out. Come on, we all know. We
All
can
right, well, Tanu,
Drag
go,
out.
please go ahead, Tanu.
I'm
Please
just
go ahead, then.
keep going.
Go ahead. What fight scene or scenes has added value to your character? Who is Eren Yeager? Go ahead with your yawning self.
Disclaimer: I love One Piece. I love Luffy. I hated that I have to do this to him, but I mean, come on. Katakuri had to stab himself for Luffy to beat him. Come on, let's be real. But all right, for
Low key, when
me,
you said Lucy, I thought you were talking about
Lucy
that one
beats
arc.
too.
I thought we were talking about Dressrosa for 1 second. I was like,
Yeah.
well,
I was like, Lucy.
All right, for me, I have one scene particular in mind, but there's two little scenes that kind of goes into that scene. So for me, it would be when Luffy, I guess I say Luffy, when Eren touched Historia, when he was kneeling down and touching her hand in her little whatever court case, and saw all the memories because he touched royal blood, and then to go with that, when they finally got to the sea and the whole show there, Aaron, Armin, Mikasa talk about seeing the water, and that'll be like the point where they reach like kind of like happiness or freedom. But when Aaron actually gets to the water, he doesn't have a satisfied look in his eyes. He looks very sad, very determined, very, I don't know, like he has a mission. And so those two scenes kind of go into the scene that I picked, which is in the basement in Marley in this newest past season, where Aaron is talking to Reiner about everything, and Reiner tells him like from his perspective what happened, and kind of like why Marley did what Marley did, and that all that kind of really made Aaron understand full circle about everything, and kind of go with his decision to turn that bitch up and fuck Marley up. So just Aaron finally getting a clarity about the whole world, and kind of making his decision to fight for paradise rather than letting them kill them. So that's kind of where I go with kind of my favorite scene, or what was whatever the question was with
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
scene.
yeah, yeah. Scene, yeah. I
Aaron,
do want to pause real quick. Michelle was squinting her eyes when you said something. So Michelle, I feel like you have a rebuttal to say. Go
I
ahead.
just it with his scene with Reiner, I wouldn't say give him depth. It's like, yeah, I get you guys were fucked up, but y'all fucked us up, so I'm just gonna nerf everybody. Like, is that really depth? It's
I
more
mean,
like a
it is depth because we understood why Aaron was gone the whole time that season, how he hadn't seen his team in for however many months, what he was doing over there. That kind of gave us clarity on why he's in Marley and what he plans to do in Marley. Um, that really gave me depth for him in terms of what direction he's going to go to save paradise the rest of the way. And working with Zeke, we learned all that in leading up to that scene. So that's kind of what I think gives it more depth.
I'll say it gave the story as a whole more. Like there was more to it, and we finally got to see everything that was going on behind the scenes. So I did appreciate that.
Hmm.
I don't know about
Hmm.
depth though, but
Okay.
I digress.
Okay. Has has the contestants or the debaters has have they said everything they needed to say for this first topic before we go on and move on to the next stage of this evaluating?
Hold on.
Amanda, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna need Michelle to provide a little more information on the specific fight because I haven't seen it yet. So I need more perspective. I've seen Attack on Titan. I've seen exactly what Tanu's talking about, but just the fight between so and so and whomever, I need more perspective on that before I can make a decision.
Got it. Okay, so for context, Katakuri is Big Mom's son, and she is her strongest. Like anytime there's a problem, she sends him out to deal with it, and he is known for never being defeated, never falling on his back or on his face or whatever. So up until then, Luffy's only fought. Well, he's fought like a ton of people. He's fought through Alabasta, Fishman Island. He's fought celestial dragons. He's toppled tyrants, like all the way up till there. But everybody was just like, oh, he's just like an annoying little pirate kid, ensuing chaos everywhere he goes. But it wasn't until he fights someone who's directly under a warlord that people are like, oh, he's actually strong? Like, we didn't think that. We thought he was just, gun pistoling his way around trying to get food, you know? So when he does that, and when Katakuri acknowledges him as a threat, that changes the world's perspective on him. And that also increases his bounty. So it changed the warlord. Like, even Big Mom was like, you're just a pest. Like, you're annoying. But he defeated her strongest son. So then they were like, okay, we got to deal with you now. So it earned him more respect.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it simple without spoiling too much for you.
I know it's hard.
like
I'm
that.
trying to.
It's
I
so
don't know
hard.
how you did
It's
that.
so hard, but
I'm over here
I'm
imagining
gonna.
the whole.
Okay. I am probably going to forget whatever is said by the time I get there, anyways. So just
Yeah,
throw it out there.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't even know half the characters are talking about. So just throw them all out there. This
Okay.
is
Spoiler
y'all's
warning.
debate, not mine.
Mhm.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, spoil that shit,
As long as it's
Michelle.
not manga.
Will
Spoil
do.
it.
Will do. I won't spoil the manga though, because that's just going crazy. But
Okay,
Please.
yeah,
good.
that I refuse.
All right. Any other last questions from the judges, the hostess? No, none. All
No,
right. That
that's
was
first round.
yeah. That's the first time. But now we're in the judges' corner right now. So essentially, if you guys haven't watched the last two first rounds and second rounds, what is going on is that we're asking the topics to the people who are defending it, the debaters, and now us as hosts, us as the judges, are going to be voting, giving 1 point on who we think won that topic or won that debate. So, with that explanation, it's now up to us to decide who's going to win that 1 point or that one round, and then be able to move on to the next topic. So it's still 0-0 right now. It's 0-0, as they say in Europe. If it's soccer
Soccer
fan or
fans.
football, it's like 0-0.
Blue lot.
But
Yeah.
who wants to go first? Amanda, Krishan?
I'll go
Who wants
first.
to? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my answer, but then I'm gonna explain why. Okay.
That's what I expected.
Yeah. So this particular question, I am gonna go with Tanu and Aaron, but my reasoning behind that is because where I'm at up to this point in One Piece, um, there are plenty of fights where we're already at the point that you kind of explained, where they all think of him as some nuisance, some kid with a high bounty. They don't understand why. And it seems like already in every fight, as soon as he starts fighting and they realize the potential, then they switch over to, okay, this kid's a problem. So we're already seeing that this early on. And I'm only at Water 7. So that tells me if it's already starting now, then it's either got to be hugely momentous at the time that you're talking about, or it's just not realized as abruptly as it is in Attack on Titan. Because Tanu's right, that is the scene where we're like, holy shit, he wasn't, scheming for them. He's scheming against everybody. Like everybody. That was a huge scene, and a switching point of the whole show. So I do have to go with Tanu and Aaron on this one.
Okay. Wow. Was not expecting that, but we'll give a light pause on that one. But I'm not biased. But no, we got 1 point. Amanda is giving 1 point to Aaron Yeager. Aaron Yeager has the lead right now for that topic. Again, the topic being what fight scene or scenes has added value or depth to that character. So Amanda's giving that point to Tanu's character, Aaron Yeager. So okay. You know what? Unless Krishan wants to go, I'll go next. But Krishan,
Um, I'll go.
okay.
I was saying like I like how Michelle, especially like, given the extra depth that she or like the context. I really like that. I like the way she went about the fight. I think at the beginning it was kind of like hard, like if you didn't know the characters and stuff, like trying to like think back. Like once she like broke it down like that, I really liked that argument. I think that was solid. So I'm kind of like keeping that version in my head. As far as like I think what's new is that is a monumental scene, but I think Tanu could have said like a fight that was more towards the beginning of Attack on Titan. That kind of added depth. Like, you think back to like whenever Annie and Eren fought, like, he like really had to like kind of start using tactics, or whenever him and Reiner fought, and he was really kind of like using what he learned, in like the training and stuff, that like he's like becoming more conscious and intelligent as a Titan. That added depth. He's not just like roaming around berserk mode. But I will say, like, kind of, if all you're rambling for a second, just like the backstory of what the sea. So like, but if we're just going off the fight argument, I would say the Eren one sounds like Amanda said, whenever they start blending together and it's like, okay, this one's a threat. Like, I feel like that's just one of those things where they all feel like they say that without like knowing the whole show,
Hmm.
So
Okay. We'll give another light applause on that one. But no, I guess okay. So Krishan has given another point to Eren Yeager for having a better fight scene or scenes that added more value than Monkey D. Luffy. So I guess it really doesn't care what I vote, but I mean at this point, but I mean Monkey D. Luffy. I'm a vote. I'm gonna give Monkey D. Luffy a vote because I think the disconnect is that not a lot of people have been able to endure through that long track of episodes that One Piece has. But that scene that Michelle just talked about definitely did add a lot of value to Luffy. I mean, it gave you a glimpse of him actually becoming like he could definitely now become like the king of the pirates. Like it's not a joke, and it's not these little fights that don't really amount to much. So, but again, I'm just one vote against two, so it really doesn't matter right now. But it was a good bout. Both Krishan and Amanda did give solid points. I mean, so did Tenu about the whole Historia shit, and I don't fuck with Historia, little fucking cow. But
Jesus.
yeah, it did. That scene definitely did give some depth.
I don't know
But
why. I feel like Historia is holding Eren's baby, but if you read the manga, don't tell me anything. But I feel like she's holding his baby or something.
I think so too, brother. I think so too. But I mean, I don't know. But no, that was a good one. That was.
Didn't they say whose baby it is at one point? Like,
I think they said it was some other dude, but I feel
yeah.
like it's a lie. I
I
don't know.
don't think they ever addressed it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone could correct me if I'm wrong.
They very, very briefly did, but it makes no impact on the story, so they didn't focus on it at all.
Yeah.
So it's like, by the way, she's pregnant. Anyway.
it's just a postpone.
Yeah,
all the
pretty
talks
much.
about.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. But yeah, all right. Well, we're gonna tracking on to the next topic. But this one is
So let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Would it make this more fun at all if instead of winning rounds, we go by total points at the end? Since like this was 2 against 1, I mean, would it make more sense to go about total points versus winning rounds?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that makes sense.
We could do that.
That way, I
do
mean, because if we do it by rounds, then I feel like it's short and not as fun, if we're going to be honest.
You're right. That makes it feel like you're going to add like a bonus question at the end.
Are we?
Right.
Ooh.
Nani?
But all right, bet. Then we're gonna have to.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, that works. That works. I'm trying to see how we can be able to make it flow now.
I mean, just do the same thing. It's just 2-1 basically right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if
Gotcha.
it goes 2-1, Michelle, it's a tie. Then we have to do a third question. But yeah, it's just the same thing. Just vote, I guess.
All right. And scene. But we have 2-1. Amanda gave Tenu 1 point, or Eren Yeager 1 point, and then we have Krishan that gave Eren Yeager another point. So Eren is at 2. And I have given Luffy, so my point does actually matter. I have given Luffy 1 point. So right now it's 2-1. It's 2-1 right now before we move on to the next topic. So at the very end of this, we're going to total it up and we're going to see who's going to be able to come victorious. If it's a tie, we'll leave it off to the audience or the fans or the people who follow us on Instagram.
Or YouTube.
But right. But no, so we're gonna move on to the next topic. Next topic being what makes your character more of a threat in their world. And since Michelle went first on the first topic, to New, this the floor is yours on this one. What makes your character? What makes your character Monkey D. Luffy? Goodness, what makes your character Eren Yeager more of a threat to their world?
I mean, I feel like this question is just tailor made for Eren. I mean, what character in any other anime is more of a threat in the world than Eren fucking Yeager? The whole world is combining forces to fight against him. I mean, if we've all seen it, we know what's going on right now with the rumbling. Everybody's running for their lives. Eren is destroying everybody in sight. I mean, there's not anybody more of a menace, like threat to their society. And then on the flip side, just talking about Luffy, obviously, I'm like about 30 episodes behind Wano, but we know that he's fighting Kaido. He's probably going to beat Kaido. I feel like in One Piece, Luffy has had a lot of plot wins leading up to this point. I mean, we could start off in Alabasta when he beat Crocodile with having some water on him.
Why you use air quotes?
I mean, he beat Crocodile, but Crocodile should have beat Luffy at that time. I mean, how's Crocodile going to lose to Luffy and then go fucking punch Whitebeard in the war? Like, what the fuck is that? I feel like he got a plot win in that. He got a plot win in Enel of him being rubber, I guess, and Enel being electricity because we know Enel is. I think Oda mentioned it. Enel would have probably been one of the most strongest people in the whole universe, but since he fought Luffy, who's a rubber man, he lost to him. I don't know. I just feel like Luffy gets plotted some wins, and I feel like none of us think that Luffy's the strongest person in that One Piece world. I don't think it's even close at this point. Versus on Eren, I don't think there's an argument. Everybody's joining up to destroy this one guy because he is the biggest menace in the whole world. So that's kind of where I would go.
Man, Michelle, I got a lot to say, but this is your
Oh, I know,
vote.
dude.
I got a lot to say.
I was
Hell
like,
no.
ooh, I don't know
Let
about
me-
plot
let me-
wins. If it like your whole argument is strength and the whole Enel thing. It's like, I mean, he ended up being stronger because he's impervious to thunder. Doesn't that kind of, 2 + 2 = 4? But anyway, the whole thing was who's a bigger threat to their world, not who's stronger. Now, if your argument is that Eren is the biggest threat to his world just because he can turn into this massive skeleton thing and nerf 80% of the population, which he does, okay. And like he does that in the hopes that people will leave his friends and family alone, right? But it's not a guarantee. And did anybody read the manga or no? Because I only know a little bit of the ending.
I haven't read the manga. If you're talking about Attack on Titan.
Okay, well then, without saying too much,
don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
do
not
it.
gonna
Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do it. But basically, he's doing all this in hopes that his people will be left alone. All in bad taste, because he's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fuck everything up.
I mean,
that's it, and end this. That's it.
What is else supposed to do? There's nothing else he can do. He has to do.
But here's my thing. Does that show of power actually create change? We have yet to find that out. Whereas with Luffy, he incites change the second we meet him, with everything from individuals to villages and kingdoms. And now he literally just, what's the word I'm looking for?
Liberated?
He liberated, but he also declared war on the world government, which, so for context, like from the beginning, let me dial it back. From the beginning, even when he meets Kobe. What was that? But for when he meets Kobe, Kobe's like, I want to be a Marine. You're a pirate. We're going to be enemies. He's like, so follow your dream. And he does. And we see Kobe go from this weakling little nerd to now he's Garp's right-hand man. So we see him changing people from the beginning. Not only that, he's changing villages. That happens in Alabasta, as we know. That happens in, oh, yes? Before I go on.
No, keep going.
Oh.
Finish your thought.
Okay. It happens in Fishman Island. It happens even in Drum Kingdom, where literally the ruler is just withholding all the scientists and doctors from the citizens because he's like, if you want medical help, if you want healthcare, you got to do what I say. He literally privatized healthcare. And Luffy was like, F that, you're off the throne. So he does that repeatedly with other people. He did that in Dressrosa. He does try not to give too much away, but even
It's
up
hard
till
not
now,
to
it
spoil it.
is so hard.
Yeah,
But even up to
yeah.
now in Wano, we see him inside change from people and people with influence. Like Vivi's a freaking princess. He in Drum Kingdom, he ends up putting Dalton in power. Well, the people choose for Dalton to be in power, and Luffy's like, cool, he's dope, fine. We basically see him topple institutions and tyrants repeatedly in such a way that isn't just based on his own power. He does it in a way that's inspiring to others and incites change amongst people. So he's changing communities, even all the way to Wano, where him and Zoro meet a village that like they have nothing. They're living in the slums, whereas the richest people have all the money, all the food. And him and Zoro are like, well, fuck that. That's wrong. So they hijack a bunch of food and feed the poor. So as a you can't really say, oh, Eren's a bigger threat to his world just because he can nerf everybody, because that's just a show of power. We don't know if he changes the world yet. We hope he does. But even with that, he leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Whereas Luffy incites it everywhere he goes, thereby changing the system. He's literally changing the system that everybody's used to in a way that benefits everybody else. And that's what's going to create everlasting change even after he's gone.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. If we're talking about the most influential character, Luffy would have it. Luffy is definitely the most influential in terms of everywhere he goes. He incites change. That's all good and dandy. But the question was, who's the biggest threat to their world?
Yes, and because he incites change, he is a bigger threat. Because right now, the world of One Piece is all governed by the word government and their lies. And they want people to stay stupid and poor and less powerful than them. But with Luffy coming along, he shows them that that's not right. You have the power to change this. And he's actively doing that. He's breaking all these taboos and bringing more truth to light because of what he's doing. And that's ultimately what's going to change the world, because the world, like, people are going to revolt against the world government eventually, hopefully. But people are seeing how corrupt and messed up everything is. Like, people are starting to rise up against the world government, the admirals, the Navy, the celestial dragons. People are like, okay, this is wrong. Like, slavery, government corruption, all this discrimination, all this classism, this is effed up. And little by little, you're seeing that change. So that's why he's a threat to the world, because he's changing the system, not just nerfing everybody.
Yeah, and Luffy will end up being the pirate, and we know that's like probably the way it's going to go, and he's going to end up taking over. But as of now, I feel like if Akainu pulls up and boxes Luffy, Luffy's getting his ass whooped. If Blackbeard pulls up, fights Luffy, Luffy's getting his ass whooped. Like, he's not the biggest threat in that world. I think there's other people stronger and more influential than him. Shanks, there's more people that right now in that world, they'll pull up and beat Luffy's ass. I mean, how many? I'm not even done with the Kaido fight, and this dude's he's gotten knocked out at least 4 times. Well, you know he's gonna come back and win the fight, because that's just the way One Piece goes, and that's why I feel like he gets plotted. Some wins I won't say that, but I think Eren is, yes, he's nerfing the whole world, but there's a reason why he's doing that. You're saying Luffy's doing it in a more tasteful way. What is Eren supposed to do? Think of it from his perspective. He was born into this dome.
Preferably not genocide.
But what? So what? Let all his people die? Let his people get euthanized?
No, but he could have used that power instead of display it for fear and literally just, I'm just going to kill everybody and myself and hope y'all are good after that. He could have used that power. Yes, it would have still made damage, but he could have still stuck around and hopefully caused a change.
There's no, he's dead in a year. He's dead in a year. He has 1 year left to live. He needs to do something with his responsibilities before he dies. Or, if Eren dies or if he gets caught, they're fully decimating Paradise, and all his people are gone. I mean, I feel like Eren's reasoning is just, and there's a reason why he got pushed to this point. I mean, that one scene in the newest episode where, you know how he was talking to those two boys in Marley, those 2 immigrant boys, and how he's crying to the one kid because he's like, I wanted to see the water. I wanted to see what the open world was like, and it made me very sad, because it's not what I thought it would be. He thought that everybody would be struggling in the world, and it wasn't just him and his people. But then he goes and sees that everybody is living a better life than his people, and his people are being oppressed. And he was sad about having to destroy and kill everybody in the world. And we saw him step on the kids and kill them. And I feel like everyone thinks Eren is just being an evil tyrant. I feel like there's a method to his madness, and there's a reason why he has to do this. I feel like it's going to be like a Lelouch ending, where he takes all the hate and all everybody's animosity and put it on himself. And if they do defeat him, then that'll unite the worlds. That's like my theory of how Attack on Titan will end. I feel like there's a method to why Eren's doing stuff. He's not just doing it just to fucking kill everybody.
I got a quick question though, and this is just a side question for Tanu. So you did bring up a point about the plot armor for Luffy and everything. Explain to me how Gabby, and if you haven't caught up on Attack on Titan, please go ahead and mute myself for like a minute or two. But explain to me how Gabby shot that bullet and decapitated Eren and was still alive. And now he is what he is. Is that not technically quote unquote plot armor?
I don't even know. What was their explanation for that? Was it because he was already touching Zeke? I think it was because he was already touching Zeke. So Zeke got to bring him into that little world. So like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on what that explanation was on that. Because you're right. She did shoot his head off, but I think
they shot him. I don't remember him touching Zeke at all.
So it sounds more.
His head touches his palm, and then time moves differently whenever you're over there. So she rebuilt his like body, clay and said basically.
Oh.
It kind of sounds like any argument for the plot armor could also be argued for, well, this is destiny or fate in their respective worlds. You know what I mean? Almost, but because like there are a lot of instances where it's like, okay, does Luffy have plot armor, or is he just so freaking annoying and stubborn that he refuses to go down unless he's forced to? But we see that very rarely. So I could see both.
He did. He took his ass out of Whole Cake and ran away from Big Mom. He couldn't beat her. I'm telling you,
he wasn't there for Big Mom that time. He was there for Sanji. So
yeah, but he tried to fight. He tried to fight them. It was too much. I mean, I don't know. I just think in the respective worlds, I think it's like Eren is definitely the biggest threat in that world. Luffy might end up being that guy, but right now I'll pick a handful of people that'll whoop his ass right now. So I feel like you can't say that in Attack on Titan.
I want you to come back to me in 50-ish days about this.
Gear 5.
What's up, Amanda?
Can you repeat the question? I feel like we went off on tangents there and I forgot what exactly we were arguing.
What makes your character more of a threat in their world?
Okay, so I haven't made a decision yet, but can I talk through my thought process here?
Please do.
Okay, so obviously, I mean, Tanu's point with Eren makes a lot of sense. He is technically the biggest threat in the world of Attack on Titan in the sense of the demise of the entire world, right? There might not even be a world to come back to after he's finished with his rampage, which in itself makes him a very dangerous character, the biggest threat in the world, so to say. But I also understand that Luffy is similar in a different way, right? He is a catalyst to create everything that's going on,
He's a
right?
pirate.
Well, yes, he's a pirate, but he's a catalyst. He's a catalyst.
Okay.
Not like a farmer that herds cattle. He's a catalyst. But so
that's a shepherd.
You're wrong for that, Amanda.
He's a pirate. No, he's a catalyst. He's not a pirate.
Fucking pirates.
Literature terms. Let's go.
But what I'm trying to get at is that he is also one of the most dangerous. He's probably, I understand, he's the most dangerous person in the One Piece world at this point because he is the catalyst that is going entirely against the government. He is breaking down the entire system of the show, of their world in the show. So it's really two different types of, strengths or strongest characters here, right? You have one that's just going to completely nerf, as Michelle says, the entire world. And then you have the other one that's taking a more positive approach and still completely changing the entire world without killing everybody, right? So I'm having a really hard time with this argument or trying to make my decision because both of them are very correct. But then it becomes a morality question of which one's more correct based on your internal perspective, right? That's kind of where I'm at right here, and I'm struggling. Let me tell you, I'm struggling.
You know, after you said that, it just made sense in my head. Like, and this could be wrong, and I'm gonna say it. I don't care. You can cancel me, but
I'm so ready.
I'm
All
scared.
right, cliffhanger.
but essentially, Luffy's MLK and Eren Yeager is Malcolm X. That's what it is because
I like
they
that person.
MLK was essentially a threat, and they wanted to silence him, and so was Malcolm X. But he was a threat in his own way. So that's how, not to make it deep or anything, but that's how I see it. To keep it short.
That's a
But
good
so then the
analogy.
question becomes like, how do you answer that?
But let me
How
ask
do
you,
you?
I could be ignorant on this on it, so excuse me, but did Malcolm X have to go do those extreme things that he did? Like, was he forced to do that, or was it just a mindset that he just wanted to, act out in that way?
Like you said, he was born he was
Not that
born in
real
that
environment.
environment. Exactly. Just like
He
Aaron.
felt he felt like there
He
was
felt
no
like he was
other way other than
exactly
promoting violence to get his means across.
compelled to do so.
That's a very accurate comparison.
And that's what I'm saying in Attack on Titan. Like, that's why in the last argument with Krishan, that's why I asked, like, what would you do in that situation? Like, you're gonna die in a year. You can't have all this power. You're gonna die in a year. You have a year left, and then the powers are gonna go to somebody else, and they're probably gonna be a never-ending cycle, and they're just gonna be persecuted. It's like, why not try to make? Of course, killing the world is an insane idea, but why not try something different than what's been going on for their whole lives, and see if that changes stuff for their world? Because the other idea was to euthanize his people, and like for me, it's like I'm gonna go out swinging. I'm gonna go out trying to stop the world from killing my people. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Michelle.
So that turns more into, do I kill the rest of the people? Do I train the people that are going to inherit this to follow up on my plan? Or do I do what I did? That's what that turns into.
Can't train him because he already he got the 3 Titans. He has 3, right? He has his
3 or
attack.
4.
But once he's gone, if it gets passed down, I'm saying, would
That's
he,
exactly.
you know what I mean?
If it's Eren Yeager versus, I'm not talking about Attack Titan or,
No. I'm saying
one
there
lose.
is- I forget if somebody eats him, do they get all 3 of those Titans?
Mm-mm.
No, right? That's what I'm saying. There is no training somebody else. This is their best chance right now.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know if it all goes to one person.
I don't
Why
think it
No.
goes
why
to
are you
one
saying it
person,
doesn't?
but I'm saying like to the rest if it does.
No,
You
it
know what I mean?
doesn't.
To,
Because it's the same approach as if somebody dies without passing on the Titan powers.
Goes to someone.
It becomes like somebody is born with the powers. Like it goes to a random person. It's like fate comes into play there.
I double check that.
Did not know that.
So
That was my
risk
Well,
it
I
or
know. Like,
nerf
if
everybody.
someone dies and they're not eaten, then it goes passed down to. And that's what the whole theory of.
Sounds like we have a
maybe,
fact
but
check.
Fact check.
I don't
Fact
think
check.
that.
Either
no.
way, that's why I feel like he has to do it because he has all 3 of those, and it's the best chance for them to do something with it rather than it get passed on to somebody else, and then who knows if they ever do
As
anything.
long as it's not royalty, though, they'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
So let's reel ourselves back in on the topic though. Again, topic being what makes your character more of a threat to their world. So I'm gonna give Tanu and Michelle one last minute to make their piece sound. And I think Tanu went first. So Michelle, you can go ahead and wrap it up or address any last minute thing, and then we'll go to the judges corner.
I'm not sure I can add more, but with everything he brought up, because you like to say that he had, like, that was his best opportunity, like that's his best option, or you risk it being fucked up anyway. But it's like, yeah, you can kill everybody, but I mean, more people are going to be born, and if they still have the same beliefs, then you're still fucked. Whereas if you're already changing the system as is, like I said, everlasting change. So you change the world for the better for a longer period of time. because now you just turned the entire world upside down, essentially. So it does come down kind of to a morality thing, but it's also like, what's a bigger threat for a longer period of time?
I like that.
So that's all I
I
got.
like that.
I mean, we could talk about morality, but in a sense, we can just say they're both doing the same exact thing, going against the grain, going against the government. Wasn't Eren's the government in Attack on Titan all corrupted and controlled by certain people? And Eren's going against the grain and fighting that. Same thing Luffy's doing. I mean, the government has been shady in One Piece. There's that 1,000-year void. There's a lot of things they're hiding and not showing people. And Luffy's doing the same thing. It's just that Luffy's doing it in a more, I guess, like he's bringing people up. He's changing places, and Eren's just forced to do like they want to kill everybody that's from Paradise, and everybody in the world wants to kill those people. So for him, he feels like he just has to wipe everybody out. Everybody else can be Paradise, and they'll live in peace after that. So that's kind of where I'd go with it.
Damn. I ain't gonna lie, this is tough. This is tough as fuck. Go ahead.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'll go first. Yeah. This is very difficult, but my mind is made up. I'm going with Michelle and Luffy because you made a really strong point on the lasting effect of said changes, right? Both of them are, Tanu's correct, both of them are doing the same thing. They're both changing the world by themselves or, in its entirety. One of them is destroying the world, the other one's trying to change it internally. But with Attack on Titan, it comes down to, even if Eren follows through and does everything that he intended to do, whether he leaves 20% of the people or kills the whole world, there's not necessarily any change effect afterwards. Or even if he leaves 20% of the people, there's always going to be, one party that is mad at the other, and there's still going to be the conflict. The conflict is always going to be there, depending on how that ends up. I know, but I'm not going to spoil it. Whereas with One Piece, that was a really great point of Luffy is changing the government long term. So this change is going to be, what he's doing is changing everything for, we don't know, it could be forever, it could be hundreds of years. I mean, I think that is more dangerous in my perspective than just destroying the entire world and hoping that conflict is over, right? So I'm going with Michelle and Luffy on that.
Wow. Okay. So Monkey D. Luffy officially has 2 points. So it's 2-2 to Eren Yeager's 2. Okay, that's a sound judge right there. That's a sound judge choice right there. I'll go next. I'm gonna have to give it to Eren Yeager. And I know that comes to a surprise with me, rooting against the Straw Hats and everything, but I mean, it just boils down to this. If I was if I was just going to work and I saw Eren Yeager just pull up, and that right there just tells me why am I going to work? Why am I going to work today? I'll just keep it as simple as possible. If I saw Monkey D. Luffy, I'll grab some drinks with the brother. I ain't gonna lie. So it's just boiling down to that. As simple as that. So that's why I'm giving my vote or my point to Eren Yeager. So yeah, it's as simple as that. So that would make Eren Yeager officially 3-2 to Monkey D. Luffy. So Krishan, you got yourself a problem right here. You can either send this to.
Hey, it's the last round.
Yeah.
This is the last round. You can either send this to the votes, to the audience vote, or you can settle this.
That's a cop
You can
out.
settle this final. It's hard. It's hard, brother.
Yeah. No, whenever you made that, I was kind of feeling confident that we made that analogy of MLK versus
Hey, bro, I had to throw it in there.
Malcolm X. I'm like, dang, because in that aspect, I'm going with Luffy, but it's like sheer threat of, Eren's like Thanos right now with the Infinity Stones, and it's like you gotta just band together to stop him. Even he was such a threat that he just had the founding Titan, the one where you can control other ones, and they sent everyone for years, destroying countless of lives just to get that back from him. Like, and then let alone he gets another Titan power, then another Titan power, and now he can control them without having royal blood. Then that's what, like, you know. But I really do. That's what I was like going back for, because like the MLK is like, I think he's way more influential than Malcolm X. Like that change that keeps going. But said, I've seen spoilers and stuff, so I can't get into like the manga because I know like kind of what happens with Attack on Titan and everything.
Yikes!
So it's like that's what's like a little hard because,
Yeah,
like Michelle said, we haven't seen change, but
But we not talking about change. We talking about just
So who
Yeah.
are you voting for? Because it sounds like you still indecisive. My bad to me.
no.
It's because you just went off on a lot of pros for
know.
Eren Yeager. So it doesn't sound
No,
like
I'm
you
saying
a
like
straw
when
hat
you
camp.
the way Michelle said is like the change. Like I really was like saying like that was my vote because a threat to society is someone that can change, but it's one of those things where are they actively like pursuing Luffy of like, is he like having a following, or is it just something like where we're like Vinland Saga where, he's just kind of making change by just having peace. He doesn't want to do war and he's just gonna make his own thing and like, he's just kind of changing the way of Vikings, I feel like that's like a slow change versus like what's a threat that we need to take out immediately. And I feel like that one, it's the threats is just like humanity. So I
So
feel
who
like
do you
that
think
was I would
who do you think is or who do you
for their
think has the
respective
most?
worlds.
Yeah.
A threat to humanity would have to be Eren. Because I just yeah.
Wow.
I really want to give it to Luffy, but that's
Dang, you blue balled a lot of people, didn't you?
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Come on, man. He got the Attack on Titan wall in the back, bro.
no. Honestly, I wrote down like I was like, yeah, let's go on to Michelle. Like it's like the once you said Malcolm X and McCabe, I was like, damn.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Actually,
Michelle,
threat to society.
I didn't even think of that in that perspective when it came to like threat in the world. I really like your point of how he is a threat in his world in the sense that he's like, I think Luffy's greatest power is the power to bring people together and to I guess to rock with him. He's not trying, like he's just himself and people just follow him and they would die for him. So I didn't even think about threat to the world in that sense.
I will say you'll like that point even more by the end of Wano. Just saying.
Sure, yeah.
I'm just sip my tea though. So.
Y'all will see Eren's changes after the manga.
That was definitely a solid point. That was a definitely solid point.
Ending's gonna be piss me off. I already know.
Yeah, but we don't have to talk about the ending. We don't have to talk about the ending. I do want to, let's give a round of applause real quick to both debaters. Thank you so much. That was a riveting conclusion. Riveting conclusion right there. No, honestly, Michelle, dang.
Michelle had me sweating over here.
Because I was like, I've never seen Tanu nervous in an argument before. I was like, Michelle, good job.
Amanda would ride with Eren no matter what, and she flip flop. I said, "Fuck."
You know what? That was so difficult for me.
That was
so hard for me.
That was
like a core value thing. I'm like,
man, Krishan was about to hold me hostage from last.
I really was about to put.
Yeah, I didn't think that question was going to be that tough to decide on.
No,
to be honest with you, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I'm glad it was tough though.
No, Michelle ended it in a way I didn't think about it, and that's a good ass point too. It is morality thing. Eren's just doing it in a nasty way, and Luffy's doing it like a happy ass way. Like, but they're both doing the same thing.
My dude just wants everybody to eat. That's all.
I mean, and at the end of the day, if it comes down to realistically who is, the biggest threat, if you look up the word danger, able to cause, literally able or likely to cause harm or injury. Well, who's gonna kill the
That's
most
fine. Well,
people?
hey,
I
yeah.
mean,
I'm gonna
god
chill
damn,
with my
that was a
loved ones.
difficult argument.
Yeah, that
By
was
the
a difficult
by the
one
way,
though.
I looked it up. You can, if you do eat one person, you get their titans multiple.
All of them?
Yeah.
All of them.
I didn't know that.
Oh, so just have one designated person eat Eren. Well, not anymore, but
Yeah, but if they're going to attack him no matter what, bro, I feel like Eren has to do this. Is the world not just going to keep fucking up paradise if nothing happens?
There could have been another way. He
I
ain't
mean,
no
what if they
Luffy
keep
though.
fucking with it after? We don't know.
Yeah.
I
That's why
mean, if you read the manga, but
Yeah, I
Chill,
know.
chill, 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 chill. No manga spoilers.
Low key, I know a little bit. I'm like,
I'm
well.
praying for a Lelouch ending. I need a Lelouch ending, bro. I need it.
Well, you
I mean,
just listen to the little.
I'm really interested to see if they do an anime only ending
I
because
heard
of the
they might.
backlash.
Yeah, I heard they
Because
might.
of the backlash that they got from the manga, I'm very curious to see what they do.
You
Mm.
think
I thought the author said that he doesn't want anything to change.
I
So,
respect that.
I've seen a
but-
lot of back and forth. I don't know what's confirmed or what's not,
because
to
Val
be honest.
I
on
think it's a
Twitter,
good.
yo, there's barely any chapters left. Why the fuck they taking long to make this? So are they changing stuff up? I don't know.
Oh, it's about to be a
Yeah.
crazy ass fight scene. You know how much animation that goes into flying
is a
like
fight scene broken up in
all
4
those
parts?
titans fighting on the back of Eren?
Oh, that's
It's
gonna
been
be,
And he can
84
create-
years, bro.
yeah, they're
I'm
definitely
over it.
So
they're
long.
for sure dragging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mappa just wants
That-
to take on every project. That's all it is.
Hey, Mappa
Yeah,
did a
true.
beautiful job with Vinland, but that's here and there. But
I got them people working overtime.
you listen to the little debrief of this little finals tournament right here. But the winner of this winner of the hot take tournament is the one and only Eren Yaeger. He won it.
Daddy.
I didn't see him going all the way through, to be honest with you, but here he is. Here he is.
Hey, bro, there's
Um,
a character that's a protagonist and an antagonist, man. The deepest character in anime.
This is true. This is true. But again, really do appreciate you guys for sticking it through the whole tournament and just defeating everybody that came in your way. Michelle,
Hey,
you're still a
calm
first
down.
place winner. You,
I was like,
Who knows
Hey,
the
You know
threat?
both losers are in here,
let
right?
it let it down
down.
slowly.
Knows the
Be
threat to the
gentle.
world? Satoru Gojo. I'll say.
I mean,
That was a rough pick for you, bud.
uh,
After this
For
season,
anime only. For anime only.
isn't it about to be Gojo season?
it is about to be Gojo season in July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want
it
to
I
say
is.
have
July
no
14th
clue
or
what's
something
about
like
Yeah,
that.
it is.
Yeah.
Gojo season.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Oh,
be
20 days.
crazy.
Now I would
But
have
no.
did Demon Slayer if I would have went back.
Yeah, you should have.
Ooh.
But it's over. You lost. We need losers, and sometimes, if I would have chose Gojo, I would have lost too. It's okay. It's okay.
And I thought
It's
Krishan
okay.
was gonna me.
Yeah, bro, you lost bad. But Amanda also, well,
Damn. With the
Uh,
knife, why don't you? Oh my
That's
god.
crazy.
Oh shit.
anyway, now you're into the director's cut. You went through the debrief. Now you're director's cut. But anyway, I do appreciate Michelle and Tanu. We do appreciate you guys for joining us to this hot take tournament. It's been a pleasure to be able to hear you guys argue your points and argue against the topics and everything. So we look forward to hopefully having you guys on another tournament. Hint, hint. It might be involving some villains, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, you know
Yeah,
I love
Amanda's
these villains.
Oh, dude, Amanda's gonna win.
Amanda's gonna.
You know I'm gonna win this one. I can argue any of them. Any of them.
Love
She does
Ooh,
come with like
boy.
a whole like MLA format essay. We
Oh,
remember that,
wow.
right? She comes
You guys
prepared.
could
She
even
does come
pick my
prepared.
person
You-
for me, and I will win this shit.
Oh damn.
Jeez.
Oh damn.
Coming from
I'm that
someone that lost.
confident.
Whoa,
You will
what was
laugh at
that?
We're in a
Laugh?
everything.
losers bracket.
That was her black
We can't talk.
That was her Blackbeard one.
Oh, but you have been listening to what was that? What was that? I don't even know how to end this. I don't know how
I'm
to
so
end it.
excited.
That laugh
I'm
is so
sorry.
I feel like Justin Bieber. I like that laugh, but
That laugh is being animated right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we do appreciate you guys listening in to this Anime for 3 Mini podcast. This hot take tournament has been a very special one, and we are looking forward to continuing to do some more. So I do appreciate our guests, to new Michelle. Thank you so much for being debaters. Thank you to the hosts, Amanda and Krishan. Thank you for being the judges and taking the L like you guys gracefully did. I do have to throw it in there. You took an L. Accept it. You lost. You lost. It's okay. Um, but you have been listening to Anime for Three. Please follow us on our socials. We are
I
on
just throw it.
TikTok. We are on Instagram. And we are on Twitter. It's Anime for Three. You got to spell out the three. I'm sorry I'm laughing if you can understand any word that I'm saying. And then we're also on YouTube. It's anime. You got to use the number 3. But I do appreciate you guys for listening in. You can officially strap out. Peace.
Dude,
Yes.
Krishan and Amanda, I think they're entitled to financial compensation after that.
Why?
Freaking personally victimized.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to remind them they lost.
You're
I
like,
had
this
to.
is a roast, actually.
But it's so it could be fueled for season 2. So when they come back with these villains,
Ooh.
Who did you argue about?
I didn't argue anyone, but I'm gonna
That's
jump into
crazy.
that. Don't worry.
That's wild. Are you gonna do
Hey,
Baruto?
I could do Boruto and win. Easy.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I could argue Boruto and win. Yes, I
sweetheart.
said it.
Oh my god, it's so cute that you're so delusional.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy. I want to be that
Wow.
confident.
All right.
Y'all really sleeping on Boruto, but that's
Look,
that's here and there.
every time I try to get into it, I'm promptly reminded why I don't want to touch it. I'm not
They're
gonna
about
lie to
to
you.
get a time skip, right?
I tried
You
reading
said
the
what?
manga too. I'm like, oof.
They're about to get a time skip, like you're about to get older.
No.
No.
Well,
I thought the next part was that.
something like that. I think it's a year or 2. Yeah. And then I think Boruto's leaving the village or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of manga, I want to talk about this Attack on Titan ending.
Oh God.
So